Ayan. So, I think we'll now go through this, the IAS 19 employee benefits. So, actually, medyo matyaga-tyaga nyo dapat basahin to, no? Since this is a 56 pages standard statement, so kindly invest your time to comprehend what is the content of this standard statement. Okay, as we go through, let's revisit those important part of the document. Okay. And these employee benefits, I think you've discussed this already under your financial accounting too. So, under the liabilities, kasi doon madalas nag-discuss to in detail. Pero again, if you have any clarification and questions, please feel free to communicate it with me and we'll discuss this further in our class para lahat mag-benefit. Okay, so the the objective of the standard is to prescribe the accounting and disclosure for employee benefits. The standard requires an entity to recognize a liability and the related expense. So, related to the employee benefits, kindly revisit this paragraph. And then the scope of this standard is should be applied by an employer in accounting for all the employee benefits except those to which IFRS 2 share-based payment applies. So, we'll go through this. Kindly revisit the remaining paragraphs. So, again, under the definition, kindly familiarize with yourselves and revisit those terms since you will since we will also encounter these terms as we go through our review 101 problem solving. And you will also encounter these items in your materials. Since mag-send ako ng review materials for FAR. Okay. Kindly revisit the terms for our common reference. So, ayan. Talagang detailed naman na dinefine dito, no? Kasi we really have to, you don't have to memorize this word by word. You just have to comprehend kung ano ba yung concept, kung ano ba yung sinasabi dito. Okay, kindly read them and comprehend. So, short-term employee benefits. This includes wages, salaries, so SSS, and annual leave, paid sick leave, profit sharing, and bonuses. Okay, so you may revisit that one. And then for the recognition and measurement, all short-term employee benefits. So again, I just want to give emphasis on this paragraph na mga naka-bold letter. Kindly give time to read them and to comprehend kung ano yung sinasabing concept dito. So, okay. Let's try this one. All short-term employee benefits. So, paragraph 11 under IAS 19 employee benefits. When an employee has rendered service to an entity during an accounting period, the entity shall recognize the undiscounted amount of short-term employee benefits expected to be paid in exchange for that service. So, letter A, as a liability, accrued expense of payable, di ba? After deducting any amount already paid. And then, if the amount already paid exceeds the undiscounted amount of the benefits, it shall recognize that excess as an asset or prepaid expense. And then letter B, as an expense unless another IFRS requires or permits the inclusion of the benefits in the cost of an asset. Okay, and then let's go through, kindly revisit this part, the short-term paid absences. So, yan yung mga sick leave, vacation leave, and then yung concept of accumulating and non-accumulating. It would be better, I think, if we'll have a sample problem for this. So, mag-upload na lang ako ng review materials for financial accounting and reporting subject natin. And okay. And so kindly read this example illustrating paragraphs for common reference. So again, you may, if you have extra or enough time, please kindly revisit this standard kasi mahalaga na mabasa nyo rin to. And actually, they're almost self-explanatory item. So you may ask me for further clarification na lang. Okay, so profit sharing and bonus plans. An entity shall recognize the expected cost of profit sharing and bonus payment under the paragraph 11 when and only when the entity has a present legal or constructive obligation to make such payment and a reliable estimate of the obligation can be made. So as you can see, this is also the criteria for the recognition of the liability, di ba? A present obligation exists when and only when the entity has no realistic alternative but to make the payments. Okay, so kindly revisit this and then the ongoing paragraphs. Okay, and then post-employment benefits, distinction between defined contribution plans and defined benefit plans. So I hope you considered reading the standards as if you're just reading a novel. I know it's very tiring and it's somehow, syempre, since puro theories, puro letters, medyo boring, pero still, this is investment for your board exam na rin and for your reference in the future. So again, kindly revisit those ongoing, those paragraphs. Multi-employer plans, you may just read that part and then, okay. Example illustrating, okay, kindly try to comprehend that one. Defined benefit plans that share risk between entities under common control. You may revisit that one. We will discuss this in detail, no? Mas maganda kasi kung meron na tayong sample problem para at least mas ma-appreciate din. Okay. So state plans, you can also revisit that one. And then okay. Post-employment benefits, defined contribution plans. Ito yung madalas. Recognition and measurement. So again, this is also self-explanatory. Kindly revisit the next paragraphs. When an employee has rendered service to an entity during a period, the entity shall recognize a contribution payable to a defined contribution plan in exchange for that service, depending on ang policy ng company. Disclosure, the required disclosure, kindly revisit this one. And then post-employment benefits, defined benefit plans, recognition and measurement, again, kindly revisit this. If you have questions, kindly ask me. And then, okay. If ever na you have time, you may compare what's already in your book as compared to what has been stated in this standard. So, for referencing and for for comparing purposes din. Okay, and then accounting for the constructive obligation, you may revisit this one. And then, statement of financial position. Kung paano pinipresent yung sa employee, yung mga transaction or items in relation to the defined benefit plan and to the employee benefit item. Recognition and measurement, present value of defined benefit obligation and current service cost. Kindly revisit this part. Okay, kindly read and comprehend. Actuarial valuation method. An entity shall use the projected unit credit method to determine the present value of its defined benefit obligation. In here, ito yung kailangan gumamit ng actuary. Meaning, it's a special services offered by a actuary. So, ito medyo medyo technical siya. And kailangan ng mga specialties, ng mga professional for this. And then attributing benefit to periods of service. Kindly revisit that one. Okay, and then another example illustrating paragraph. And then kindly just familiarize yourselves with this, no? makakatulong sa inyo to revisit this illustrating paragraph because they're all situational. And may encounter nyo din siya sooner or later. Actuarial assumptions, it shall be unbiased and mutually compatible. And then, actuarial assumptions, the mortality, masyado ng specific to, no? Pero at least, mabasa nyo lang. Not necessarily nakabisaduhin. Discount rate. And then, actuarial assumptions, salaries, benefits, and medical cost. Okay. And then, kindly revisit yung paragraph, no? You owe it to yourself, kahit yung basahin nyo na lang and to comprehend the standards. Assumptions about medical cost shall take account of estimated future changes in the cost of medical services resulting from both inflation and specific changes in the medical cost. Past service costs and gains and losses on settlement. You may revisit that one also. And then, past service cost, the concept, I hope you recall this one. Kindly read the paragraphs, gains and losses on settlement, and then, okay, recognition and measurement or plan assets, per value of plan assets, reimbursements, okay, components of defined benefit cost, the service cost, the net interest, and then the remeasurement. I hope nare-recall nyo to dun sa solving, di ba? Nung sa defined benefit, dun sa defined benefit cost natin sa FA2. Current service cost. Okay, kindly revisit the concept. Net interest in the defined benefit liability or asset. We should give emphasis on those items na naka-bold letter, no? As I always mention. Remeasurement of the net defined benefit liability or asset. And then, presentation or offsetting. Kindly revisit this one. Current, non-current distinction, you may revisit that one. Components of defined benefit cost. Disclosure, again, at least you know the required disclosure for presentation in the financial statement regarding the employee benefits, characteristics of defined benefit plan and risk, and explanation of amount in the financial statements. And I think amount and timing of uncertainty future cash flow, multi-employer plans, defined benefit, other long-term employee benefit. You have the long-term disability benefit, profit sharing in bonuses, jubilee, and other long service benefits, long-term paid absences such as long service or sabbatical leave, deferred remuneration, so recognition and measurement. So again, you may revisit that one. Disclosure, okay, termination benefits, kapag tinanggal yung empleyado. So recognition of that, kindly revisit this one, measurement. That's why you need a lot of patience in reading this IAS 19 kasi masyado siya mahaba, masyado din siyang technical. Pero maybe just give it a little more time para lang at least pagka na-encounter nyo siya sooner or later, hindi na alien yung mga terms and concepts sa inyo. And this is also to facilitate yung discussion natin sa FAR, lalo na pag nag-FA2 tayo. So ito, please kindly do revisit the example illustrating paragraphs. And then disclosure, transition, and okay, so we're done. Itong 172, paragraph 172 onwards, this pertains already to the history of the standard. So, I think we're good, no? That's it for IAS 19, Employee Benefits.